Hi, this is Kim, and today I'm going to do a tag, a hashtag called TarotCollectionTopDecks by 78 Portas, and we'll just get right into it. It's got 21 prompts, and the first prompt is, what was your first tarot deck ever? And my first tarot deck ever was the Wild Unknown, and this has been heavily modified. I colored it and I trimmed it. Here's the backs. There's where I edged it in the black. I colored it with some markers. I don't know if I like it anymore. I don't really use this copy. I really think I messed it up coloring it. But it's unique. This was my first tarot deck, so I've seen everybody modding decks online, and I thought I'd mod mine. It was the first one I had for a long time. I didn't know any better. I like my unmodded deck now. But anyway, this was my first tarot deck ever. The Wild Unknown by Kim Kranz. Well, I really butchered it, didn't I? Alright, next up is, what is your most recent tarot deck? And my most recent is the Nemeth. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Oh, let's see if I can get this. Oh, I opened it from the bottom, that's why. I didn't break the seal on it. This one's still in order, so I'll keep it in order. This is by Yonasiaus. It's really pretty. It's got a lot of vibrant colors in it. I have not worked with this deck yet because it's in another language. I haven't got out the Google Translate, but it's beautiful. It's going to be one to study up on. From what I understand, these are the titles, and this is a story that goes along with each card. That's attached to each card. That's what I've heard on TarotTube. So I'm anxious to look those up and see what story they have attached to each card. I love the artwork in this. It's very pretty. So that's the Nemeth Tarot by Yonasiaus. And that's the newest one to come into my collection. Alright, prompt number 3 is, which tarot deck has the best colors? And I have 2 for this prompt. The first one is the Blacklight Tarot. And this one I modded as well because I edged it and it bled really heavily, so I had to cut the edges off. Here's the backs, and I have not colored it. But look at the colors in this. Isn't it gorgeous? Vibrant colors. I love working with this deck. Colors are stunning. It's an RWS clone. Reads beautifully. Alright, that's the Blacklight Tarot for colors. I come from Tarot Collectibles. And the next deck I have in this category is the Earth Whispers Tarot. Let's see, by Angela Tubb. It's got some pretty colors in it. Some of the cards are dark, but a lot of them are vibrant and very, very pretty. That is the Earth Whispers Tarot by Angela Tubb. That's one for the pretty colors. Alright, next prompt is, which tarot deck has the best faces? And for me, that was Tarot the Old Path. And I love the faces in this deck. They're so emotive. Let me see if I can find one I'm talking about. Like here's one. She's crying. Here's one. See there? I just think the faces are awesome in this deck. They show a lot of emotion. That's Tarot the Old Path. Alright, next up is, what is your largest tarot deck? And my largest tarot deck is Tarot of Prague. These are huge cards. See, they're as big as my hand. Let's get that over. Beautiful artwork. This is by Baba Studio. So that's my biggest deck, Tarot Prague. And on that same note, my smallest tarot deck, which is the Wonderlight Tarot. See if I can get it open here. These at the beginning are different. Those are the planets. All right, there we go. Sure is tiny. Ten of Swords. That's a Six of Swords. Seven of Swords. Three of Swords. Four of Swords. Five of Swords. I have not worked with this deck yet. Ten of Cups. That's the Wanderlight Tarot. Next up is what tarot deck has the best court cards. And for that, I picked the Slow Tarot. I've got all the court cards at the front here. Not in order. Knight of Wands, Queen of Coins, Queen of Wands, Page of Swords, Page of Wands, Page of Coins, Page of Cups, Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords, Knight of Coins, King of Swords, King of Coins, King of Cups, Queen of Cups. That's the court cards in the Slow Tarot, excuse me. Next prompt is your most worn out tarot deck. And for me, that's going to be the Orion's Tarot. You can see the edges, how worn out they are. I worked with this deck a lot. This was one of my first tarot decks. It was at the beginning of when I started collecting decks, and I've used it a lot. This has a lot of vibrant colors too. This used to be my favorite tarot deck. I used it all the time. That's my most worn out tarot deck. You can see the edges, how worn out it is. That's Orion's tarot deck. Okay. Next prompt is, what's your most esoteric tarot deck? And for me, that's the Alchemical Tarot Renewed by Robert M. Place. This is the backs. It's got gilding on the sides. Got a lot of symbolism on the cards. One of these days I'm going to get and study this deck. It's going to take a lot of buckling down. So that's my most esoteric deck, the Alchemical Tarot Renewed by Robert M. Place. Next up, what's your best deck for shadow work? And for me, I picked out the Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot for best shadow work deck. And this one is best for shadow work for me. It's got a lot of, brings out a lot of dark things that I don't really want to work on, but I do at times. A lot of things from my childhood I'd rather just forget, but it's best to work on. I only bring this out at certain times when I'm ready to work on those things. Which isn't very often. It's really a deep deck. I love this card. 2 cups. Love the artwork. So that's the Nicoletta Ciccoli. That's best for shadow work for me. Next prompt is, which tarot deck has the best back designs? And I have 2 for this prompt. First one is the Meraki Tarot. This is the 2nd edition. And here's the backs. I love those backs. They're reversible. But I think they're very pretty. And the next one I really like the backs on is the Tarot of Echoes. These are also reversible, but I really love those backs. I think they're just stunning, gorgeous. The next prompts is which tarot deck has the best cardstock? And for me, that's the Tarot Volatile. I love the cardstock on this deck. See if I can get the lid off of it. I'll show you how it shuffles. It just shuffles so smoothly. That's the Tarot Volatile for the best cardstock. Next is which tarot deck has the soft silky touch. And for me, I picked out the Children of Litha. And a lot of people don't like the silky feeling on the Children of Litha, but I really enjoy it. It's just, it feels like silk. It's kind of a velvety feel, and it shuffles really good too. Even though it has that, I think it shuffles good. But it's got that soft, silky touch. I love it the way it feels. Love the way it shuffles. Next prompt is, which tarot deck has the best sound when you shuffle it? And I picked Pagan Otherworlds by Uzi. Doesn't that sound great? I love the way that sounds when you shuffle it. I don't know if you can hear it sliding on itself. Anyway, that one has the best sound when you shuffle it. To me it does anyway. Maybe not to everybody. And I open it from the bottom. Okay, next is number 15. Which tarot deck is the most misunderstood? And to me, that is the Keeper of the Sacred Bee Tarot. And it's probably most misunderstood by me, because I don't get this deck. See if I can get it out of the bag. Oh, I just had to have it. I loved it. And it's so hard to understand. I just don't, it's cold to me. I don't know what it is. It's deck just does not speak to me. So it's misunderstood by me. I try to read with it, but I get nothing back. I don't know what it is about this deck. The collage, I like collage decks. It's just, this one just doesn't speak to me. I like the colors. I like the, you know, the art that it's made. I like everything about it. It's silent, if that makes any sense. Maybe one of these days it'll speak to me. If not, I'll rehome it. There's no sense in it sitting on my shelf unused, not speaking to me. So this is my most misunderstood deck. Keeper of the Sacred Bee Tarot by Kelly Burton. Next prompt is, what is your most ancient tarot deck or most historical? And for me, that is the Golden Dawn Tarot deck by US Games. And I can't remember what year this deck is. Let's see, I think it's printed on the cards. 1977. This is my most ancient deck. I don't own anything any older than this. That's a pretty card. So this is my most ancient tarot deck, Golden Dawn, Tarot of the Golden Dawn. Next up is, which tarot deck is the most surprising, good or bad? And for me, that was the Serpent and the Peacock Tarot. And it was in a good way. I really like this tarot deck. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it at first. That was my daily card today. I'm using this for my daily draws now. Here's the backs, and it's edged in a bronzy gold. I like the way this reads. I like the art. Reads really good. collage deck. Or it looks to be collage anyway. May not be. I better watch what I'm saying. Could be lying to y'all. But it reads really good. That's all that matters. This is the art edition. Shuffle's really good too. It's like on a matte cardstock. I drew this card 2 days in a row, 2 of Wands. So this was a surprise in a good way, the Serpent and the Peacock Tarot. Next up is which tarot deck has the best purchase story? And that would be the Wild Unknown. This is the indie version. The best purchase story is here's the backs, and I have not edged it. Since this was my first tarot deck and now my favorite tarot deck, I wanted the indie version. Well, I bought an indie version, and I wanted the animal spirit one, the indie version of it. Well, I seen it on eBay, and they were selling a copy of the Wild Unknown and of the animal spirit, and I wanted the animal spirit. Well, they had a picture of both, and I bid on it, and I won the bid. And when it got to me, it was the Wild Unknown again. And I had purchased another copy of the Wild Unknown instead of the animal spirit. I had gotten them mixed up and purchased another copy of the Wild Unknown. So I ended up with 2 copies of the Wild Unknown first edition. I got them mixed up. Instead of purchasing the animal spirit, I purchased another copy of this. So that's the only purchase story that I have that was different, crazy, whatever you want to call it, unusual purchase story. So if anybody wants a copy of the first edition of the Wild Unknown, I've got 2. Just hit me up with an email. I don't need 2 copies of them. I guess I have a backup copy if nobody wants it. I was really hoping to get the first edition of the animal spirit. It was my bad for not paying attention to what I was doing. I just didn't pay good enough attention. They had a copy of both of them, and me just being anxious to bid, didn't watch what I was doing. So that was my purchase story. Alright, number 19 is what tarot deck do you always use for self-readings? And for me, that's the Heroine Tarot. I only use these for self-readings. And I love this deck. Let's see, where's the backs? Right there. I always got one turned over on the front because that's the last 1 card draw I did. Anyway, here's the backs, and it's got silver edging. I call this a special deck. That's why I only read for myself with it. I love this deck. It was on my unicorn list, and Rose or Meg at Rose Honey Ritual told me where to find it, and I got a copy because I didn't think it could be bought anymore. Let me scoot up, because last time I did that, I was off the screen. She told me where to find a copy, and sure enough, I was able to get one. I thought they were all out of print. But ever since I've gotten it, I only read for myself with it. And I love the way it reads. That's one of my favorite cards. I love the way they're dressed in this deck. Got really cool clothes. So that is the Heroine Tarot, the deck that I only use for myself. What is the most difficult tarot deck to be mastered? And for me, that is the Bonfire Tarot. Let's get a few of them. This one is a hard one to be mastered because it's so... Oh, there's a lot going on in the cards. It's just real busy. A lot to see. A lot to get to learn in the cards. I find it hard to master myself. I don't know about anybody else, but it's a lot to take on in these cards. I like that card. I don't read with it that often. I've read with it a few times. I just find it a lot. So that was my answer to which is the most difficult tarot deck to be mastered, and that's the Bonfire. And what tarot deck, last prompt, number 21, is what tarot deck is the best overall? And for me, that is the Wild Unknown Tarot. To me, this is the best tarot deck overall, because this is my favorite. This is my soul deck. I love this deck. It speaks to me the way no other deck does. I love everything about this deck. It was my first tarot deck, and it didn't speak to me way back then when it was my first tarot deck. It took a while. It took a lot of years of working with it and getting to know it. Learning it. Watching walkthroughs of it, working with it, watching everybody else's perspective on it. That's one of the cards that changed from the mass market to the first edition. But I love it. It's the best tarot deck overall, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. So that's it. That's The Wild Unknown by Kim Krans. And that's it. If you made it this far, good for you. I'm proud of you. You made it through the whole thing. I appreciate you stopping by to watch. I'll see you in the next one, and hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.